Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace. Hey everyone, it's Sleepyhead, and mine is the white and green car right there front and center. I managed to qualify third, so it turned out to be a really exciting race, but my goal for the evening was to simply get through this whole race without crashing into anyone, because my safety rating's been having a lot of trouble lately, and I really needed to bolster it, if you know what I mean. So we did manage to get through the first set of turns, safely, and somehow I managed to get into second briefly. And actually, I found myself racing up near the front of the, front of the pack on the lead lap for sure, throughout the whole race. And like I said, I simply wanted to be safe, but I ended up with a really exciting race where I also did really well. And so here you can see, I mean, even before the first lap is out, I've pretty much got second sewn up, but that did not last. This guy in the red and black car, we kind of had a battle almost throughout the entire race, back and forth. We were pretty evenly matched in terms of our ability to put in good lap times, and also kind of evenly matched in our ability to create mistakes. So I think both of us made mistakes at various points, and the other one was able to capitalize on it, and it really did end up being a really fantastic race between the two of us. And there were others that got involved along the way. They were possibly the true competitors of this event. But I was kind of mystified that I was able to put in lap times that were competitive, because my driving has gotten a little bit better over just the last week. But I think what really made the biggest difference in my ability to, put in good lap times is I tweaked the setup a little bit. I just dropped the tire pressures all the way down as low as they would go, and in every way the car was better. So, and you can kind of see how that's paying off, because I'm able to drive off the line and not lose control. But at this point, you see that little bowl there is a lot of trouble for me. If I let off the gas too much, the rear end will come around on me. And this time it caught me out. I let, I think, 3 cars go by, and in fact that last car there, the kind of kind of greenish one, as you can see, he got by me. Now it looks kind of dark here because I cut out the better part of a lap, and the clouds came in. But at this point, all those guys who had slipped past me when I went off the track, they had all managed to bunch up like this, and I got bunched up with them. And at this point, I'm thinking, well, I know that I qualified faster than these guys. I might have an opportunity to get past, as long as nothing really bad happens. So I was kind of, I had some trepidation, if you will, that, I was really afraid that the teal car out in the front would, slide and everybody would pile into him. But that never happened. We actually, had, I was able to work my way through these guys cleanly. You can see I passed that green and orange car just by sort of driving around them. And I believe coming up, I get past the next one. Oh yeah, that teal car did eventually lose control. But all of us were able to avoid it. And so I got through, and in fact, I passed that last guy. I think we're going to see that. Yeah, it's coming up onto the front straight. Now, on this track, with this car, I have a lot of trouble coming onto the front straight. I don't always do it right, and it's sort of... there's clearly a trick to it with this car, and I haven't figured out what that is, because I cannot do it consistently. But in this case, I did get it right, and I managed to use that to get past this guy. And that brings me into 4th place. So I'd really like that podium finish, although, I had gone into the race kind of thinking, all I want to do is get my safety rating back in shape. But at this point, I'm all competitive, and I'm thinking I would really like to get on that podium, but it's a long way to go. I just there weren't many laps going, so I needed help, And it came along. If you look in the foreground, that black car is the leader, and then these two red cars go by underneath. They're out of frame right now, but there they are. And second place, he looped it around. And guess what? That's that black and red car. That's my rival, the guy I was racing with for so long. I managed to catch up with him, or rather, he managed to catch up with me. Either way, it's on. I might be able to stand on that podium after all. It was equally balancing out mistakes. So yeah, I got myself my, got past him right there, and it just went back and forth for quite a while here. Now, you remember how I said that, I've been having a lot of trouble with this car coming onto the front straight there on that last turn, and while that's the case, with this car pulling onto, coming off the front straight and onto the first couple of turns, turns 2, 3, and 4, throughout the course of this race, I have been, completely going faster than everybody else through there. So I feel like I own turns 1, 2, and 3. And so when my rival here comes up and manages to slip by the inside like I was standing still, well, let me tell you what, that did not sit well with me at all. I thought, oh, that's it. It's a race now. I cannot let that sit. So I poured it on. I just, gave it my all, and I did manage to get past him, and actually I just totally ran away from him, opened up a big gap on him, and I was trying to reel in second place, and I kind of cut out the the chase and the pass on this guy because this video is too long as it is. But anyway, here I am. I'm approaching second place, but we have this lapped car coming up, and yeah, there is. See, that green car is the lap car. Right in front of them, there's kind of a red and yellow car. That's second place. So it's not that far to get to second, but I got to get past this lap car. And guess what? We're going into that little bowl where I had trouble the last time. And as I'm coming up on the lap car, I have to let off the gas, to avoid crashing into the back of them. And that brings me right off the track. And unfortunately, in all my slowing down, I managed to block right in front of my rival, and immediately I felt really bad about that. I was like, oh, that was an unsafe rejoin. So I got out of his way and let him past. And, at that point, I'm right behind him still, and I'm like, well, we're going to have to settle this like gentlemen. I wasn't going to, cut him off on my rejoin because I would not have felt good beating him that way. But if I can beat him, fair and square, racing properly, then I would sleep okay. So I gave it a shot. I gave it everything I could. I went down this straight, kept up with him, and was not able to get alongside of him. You see, he's still taking that line through there, and I just could not find it within me. And at some point, he just sort of took off. So, yeah, I ended up in fourth place. I was pretty satisfied with that. I think actually I get past him here, but he managed. No, I had a chance to get past him here, but he actually took it back. But I ended up with fourth place. This was the final. This kind of settled it right here. This last turn, he pulled around me. I ended up with fourth place, and actually I'm really happy with it. I'm stoked, and I'm looking forward to next week. Next week is Road Atlanta, or is it Road America? Doesn't matter. That's where we'll be next week, and I'm looking forward to that because I feel like I'm driving well, and I had a ton of fun in this race. Take care, everyone.